Where do you go in times of depression, in times of apparent non presence of God in your life? Um, just in the events that happen, where do you go? Where do I go? We're going to relook at 1 Samuel chapter 27 again. We set it up last time, and now we're going to look at it a little bit more in detail. But before doing that, I want to read again Psalm 34. And we read it together already in some of our previous studies as it showed up in the Chronological Study Bible. And it showed up right after David was fleeing, began his fleeing from Saul, and he was at the gates of Gath, feigning insanity. And there was this transition in David, and this transition of taking things into his own hands and then depending on God. And in 1 Samuel 27, we see him again just of sorts giving up. And let's look at that. So Psalm 34, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise shall continually be in my mouth. My soul shall make its boast in the Lord. The humble shall hear of it and be glad. Oh, magnify the Lord with me, and let us exalt his name together. I sought the Lord, and he heard me, and delivered me from all my fears. They looked to him and were radiant, and their faces were not ashamed. This poor man cried out, and the Lord heard him, and saved him out of all his troubles. The angel of the Lord encamps all around those who fear him, and delivers them. Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the man who trusts in him. Oh, fear the Lord, you his saints. There is no want to those who fear him. The young lions lack and suffer hunger, but those who seek the Lord shall not lack any good thing. Come, you children, listen to me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord. Who is the man who desires life and loves many days that he may see good? Keep your tongue from evil and your lips from speaking deceit. Depart from evil and do good. Seek peace and pursue it. The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their cry. The face of the Lord is against those who do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles. The Lord is near to those who have a broken heart, and saves such as have a contrite spirit. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers him out of them all. He guards all his bones, not one of them is broken. Evil shall slay the wicked, and those who hate the righteous shall be condemned. The Lord redeems the soul of his servants, and none of those who trust in him shall be condemned. In Psalm 34, we can see three key things. One, God's promises are sure. They're sure. Psalm 34:22 here. The Lord redeems the soul of his servants, and none of those who trust in him shall be condemned. Promises are sure. They're also conditional. His promises are conditional. Verses 15 and 16, same Psalm 34. The eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their cry. The face of the Lord is against those who do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth. In our depression and fear, what are we doing with it? Where are we taking it? And if indeed God's promises are sure, and they are, and now they're conditional, so what is this condition? So his ears are open to the righteous. So what's going on in my life? Yet his face is against those who do evil. So what I do matters. What you do matters. In the time of doubt, in the time of why is this happening to me? what's going on. Waiting upon the Lord can be very difficult, very difficult. And so in this time of doubt, of perhaps even unbelief, when we're evaluating our depression, our fear, what's going on in our life, have we really even taken refuge in Christ? Have we come to him? Have we really come to God with this contrite spirit? Because his promises are corrective, and that's number 3. His promises are sure, they're conditional, and they're corrective. Verse 18 of Psalm 34, the Lord is near to those who have a broken heart and saves such as have a contrite spirit. Contrite again, broken, smashed. A broken heart. Have I really sought refuge in the Lord? Or am I still just trying to do things all on my own? David here in 1 Samuel chapter 27, as we saw, verse 1, and David said in his heart, what is it that we say in our hearts? I mean, in these times of waiting on the Lord, in these times of, man, why is this happening to me? David makes this agreement. I mean, when he says it in his heart, it's a really deep agreement. Now I shall perish someday by the hand of Saul. There is nothing better for me than that I should speedily escape to the land of the Philistines. And that's exactly what he does. He goes to the land of the Philistines, enemy territory, and in this moment, he gives up. He gives up, and surely he would remember from 1 Samuel 23, back in verse 14, 23:14, said, Saul sought him every day. It was relentless. It has been relentless. So Saul as a picture of the enemy. Saul as a picture of all those things that come against us as we're living into the things of God, as we're living our Christian life. Perhaps you're not living the Christian life. You're being tugged. You're being, these things are happening in your life, and you're looking for hope. You're looking for refuge. There is refuge in God. It's there. And the battle of your heart is relentless. It's relentless. Saul sought him every day. And now David says in his heart, you know what? I am going to perish at the hand of Saul. He makes this agreement. He seeks refuge in the land of the enemy. And, on a practical note, today, 2012, month of October, what does that look like in your life? So when you go into the land of the enemy, what is that? Is it vegging out, grabbing the controller and just, I'm not going to do a darn thing? Is it going and having drinks with the friends? One drink too many? Checking out? Getting toasted? Waking up with a hangover? Is it firing up the bong? Smoking some weed? Is it sex? Just go get the pretty girl? Is it food? Is it sleep? I gotta snooze. Just need some rest. What is it? David goes to the land of his enemy. He checks out. And he goes to Ziklag, where we saw last time in 1 Chronicles, an area in his life, let me say it this way, an area in the land of the Israelites that was already theirs. It had already been promised to them by God through the tribe of Simeon in the land of in this area of Judah. This Ziklag was already theirs, but yet this city was granted to him by his enemy, and he goes there. And David is now on this slaughter path, and he goes into, it's kind of this split deal. He's going out, and as he goes out, he's actually raiding enemies of the Israelites. So, which would be the Amalekites. So, who he's actually raiding are, and we saw it here. He's raiding the Geshurites, the Girzites, and the Amalekites, which are enemies to the Israelites. Yet David says to Gath as David goes out and comes back from these raids with livestock, he tells Gath the king, saying, "Oh, where have you been? Where have you raided?" And he says, "In the southern area of Judah." So he paints this picture as if he's raiding his own kinsmen. He's lying. He's lying to the king, or Achish. I keep saying Gath. I'm sorry. So he's lying to Achish, telling him that he's raiding his fellow brethren. And then, of course, Achish's response to David in verse 12, "He has made his people Israel utterly abhor him. Therefore, he will be my servant forever." What we do matters. It matters. So in your time of depression and your time of being down, wait upon the Lord. Seek the Lord. It matters. And I just want to end with this, guys. Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 17 and 18. Here in Habakkuk, we find him in that moment of things being empty, rejoicing in the Lord. He says, "Though the fig tree may not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, though the labor of the olive may fail, and the fields yield no food, though the flock may be cut off from the fold, and there be no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will joy in the God of my salvation." May you find your rest in Christ, not the things of this world. It matters. God bless you.